I already get more people on here than I did on Twitch today. Actually, that's not true, but made these chili and cheese burritos. I haven't folded up yet, so I wanted to kind of like air out just a little bit because I can still feel it's hot. Hello, Carl. How are you? I'll roll these up right now so I can. Chili, pretty much like chili cheese burritos, just no beans. We have no beans, so beef. So beef and cheese burritos, but instead of like the packaged taco seasoning, we just went with chili because it sounds pretty good to me. I could have probably made something up, but yeah. Of all this time, when I got these at the store closer to me, if I walk just like 5 more minutes, the store, another store that sells these, well, this top's kind of, yeah. They sell it for like 50 cents cheaper. I'm like, it's 50 cents is 50 cents, but that's a decent percentage, if that makes sense. So these are now 225 at that other store instead of this store down the street. They sell them for like almost like 275. Like, wonder how they get that. That's just me nerding out with math. I can tell you this though, this is greasy. Not even in like the Canadian way. That could have been a bad idea. That's smoky as shit. Mm. I still like it, but I'm not using that seasoning again for that. As intense. Oh, fuck. Whew. It kind of reminds me of a like a really intense frozen pepper burrito. Let me finish this up, and then I'll drop it. We're gonna do all that. Oh, I should have drained the meat first, obviously. But what I was thinking about doing was just using the grease to kind of like hold it together. But that's like a if I had more to it, it would probably have been okay. But oh, that is greasy. I got a feeling it's gonna stick with me for a minute. Motherfucker. We ain't wasting food. We ain't doing that. Fuck. I fell behind on this game too. It's also Sunday, so I mean, like, there's really nothing going on. There's stuff downtown going on, but I already went for like a 25-minute walk. Not spending money down there. I don't have it, so. Ooh. Right. So let's close Discord. No idea what the hell this is. It's kind of annoying. No. There we go. I feel like the last song, I probably would have liked it a little bit ago, but now it's like, I gotta get my mindset. I don't start tomorrow, but I go back into where I'm working tomorrow. Figure out my schedule. See if they want. I'm gonna come prepared to work, but because that'd be cool. Because I'm already in the system and everything like that. My thing is I don't know how the tips work, and I don't know how the pay rate works. Not the pay rate, but pay periods. So I gotta figure that out. And after that, uh, save up some coin, pick a spot, and fucking move. Because I'm kind of ready for the next chapter. I mean, I'm always gonna visit back here, um, just to see how things are going and stuff like that. make sure I have extra money to spend whenever I do. Just because, like, it'd be nice to, if that makes sense. I mean, I already know about how much I'm going to be making, and I know like to spend what area is rents out. I'm gonna be okay. But with that being said, it's like if I'm gonna come over here, I better have at least have like $100. Not so that I completely blow, but like um, in case if the family ever wanted to do something, and then I'd be like, oh well, I can pay for it, which is always a nice feeling. It is very quiet. I know a lot of people stayed up last night or on this kind of platform. I know a lot of shenanigans were happening. I think my stomach's just about. There's really nothing to do. technically what I could have done is just went out of town today. Just trying to find a way to. And then go to my buddy's house where all my WTs are at. And done my taxes. But no. Very much. I can wait. I do gotta tell myself, it's gonna be the first and only job that I want this year. Doesn't matter what happens. Because I don't want to keep doing different W2s. Like, right? I think this year I have like 6. It's just annoying. So, because it just takes too long. And it technically doesn't really look that great on your credit score. I mean, I'm still in the fair areas. It's like my credit score is not good, but it's good enough to where if I wanted to get an apartment, I could. Based only on that. The money that I'm earning, no, not really, but I can get like a studio that's not really an apartment. It's more like a room. Because you're next to other people. So it's like, what's the point? Anyway. I think that room or that studio was going for $13.95. Even that's pretty expensive, man. It's just like, and I've looked at it too. It's pretty. I could make it at home, but I don't know. I'm kind of bouncing that idea too. Because they don't necessarily even want a deposit. They just want first and last month's rent, which is a lot more than just a deposit. But boring number stuff, I guess. This is 20 ounces. About maybe like 18. See what I can do here. Oh. Let that settle for a bit. I've also talked to a lot of. I talked to not a lot of people, but one other person who lives in another state. He was like, "Oh yeah, Because I told him I was thinking about getting a boat. I mean, my uncle has one. He doesn't live on it or anything like that, but he has one. And it's not a boat to live on. It's just a regular fisherman's boat that you only want to take out during the summer. Um, and he just reminded me, like, yeah, I mean, you heard about what boat stands for, right? I'm like, yeah, I'll break out another 1,000. He's like, correct. But did you ever think about how often you would have to do that? I'm like, no, no, I did not. So I'm not going to drive the thing often. I'd have to get like a boating license for it, but he's like, yeah, it's more often than you may think. Despite that, there's always something going on. So, in other words, it's out of the question for that. Oh, the purple Charizard from Shiny Face the other day. Cool. Let's see. As of right now, I don't really have any too expensive cards right now. Um, I just got rid of them for some packs and stuff like that. So packs in like $25. And I opened the packs, and the packs did not do a damn thing for me. So, rip. That was pretty. It was considered a minor gamble, but fuck, man, I tanked. I tanked hard pulling. Uh, opening on those packs. Charizard Fates. Jesus. Paladin Fates? Because that one's going up in price. If you want to, man. I mean, you can come up here and do it. The last time you did, you didn't really pull anything. Shining Baits, VMAX. Okay. I looked at the wrong one. Uh, Charizard VMAX. Shining Fates. This one's still going up in price. Just the same. Well, not just the same. This one's cheaper than the one I looked at, but it's still here. Let me show you. Because, well, you know about TCG Player. Let me present my screen. Right here. You go by this chart here. About a month ago, it was $79, and now it's going to $87, and it's still up there. Near mint is going for about 80, including shipping. So this thing's going crazy. I'd get this. I'd get this graded if I were you. To be honest, at this point, get it graded to get it back for like a couple weeks later. If you haven't fucked with it, if you even get like an 8 or a 9, it's still, you know. But if you haven't fucked with it, if you get a 10, think about that. But yeah, this is the one. He's like purple. Evolves from Charizard. V. think like back in the day, having a card like this, like back in the day, when Pokemon Stuff first came out, seeing a 5 energy, 300 attack damage, or like a 3 colors claw slash that doesn't have anything because the second ability says discard 2 energy cards from this Pokemon. But then if you just do claw smash slash, this alone would have fucking decimated like anybody back then in the day, except for maybe Venusaur if I remember. But like no, because it had the weakness, so it would do more damage. Blastoise. But I think Blastoise didn't have that much HP, like maybe like 250 or something. So, oh, wildfire, fuck off. Crazy card. PC 10 is the 300 or something. Yeah, sounds about right. Had 5 people in here and they all disappeared because we were talking about Pokemon. I'm just kidding. No, I'm willing to bet it's because of the of me posting earlier or posting it in down there in the description of where my tip jar is. And second time I've done it. I've always had it on my Twitch. And people on Twitch, if they revisit again, if I keep doing it, then yeah, there's going to be people who are going to be like, "Oh yeah, it's him," because despite the fact that people don't watch me yet for this season, because everyone on League of Legends is climbing right now, so uh, that's going to take a bit. If I constant streaming at least for a couple hours, a few hours a day, and then I'll get to kind of balance it out. Here, it's just like me personally is just like, hey, if you wanna, it's there. I mean, I'm not really expecting it, so I just don't like how most people do it. And I think I talked about this before. There's a lot of people who will do the same shit. It's just like, oh, they're gonna drink alcohol and bring like all the drama and stuff like that. People who donate money to people like that, they're not donating it because they want to keep seeing it. Well, maybe they do. They're doing it because they're laughing at them. It's kind of it's kind of like reverse trolling a little bit because like oh well, if I send him $10, then he's gonna feel more incentive to pop up and do it. You know, and for me, it's just straight up anyone's welcome up here. Anyone wants to chit chat about whatever, you know, I'm all game for it. That's literally all this is. You know what I mean? Uh, yeah, pretty much. Because I know a little tiny bit about everything, and I know a little bit about how the economy is going in America, in California at least. I know about a little bit about the AI system. I know about like generally AI. I don't know a whole ton. I could just put my beliefs in it and say, hey, like for example, I'm not really too keen on AI. I don't hate it. I'm just really skeptical, and I would have to see a lot more from it for me to actually use it, if that makes sense. Because I don't fucking, I have no clue. Because I'd have to be a little bit more curious than I already am. Because I'm not. Let me put it this way: I'm happy having my basic ass fucking computer. It's considered basic these days. With in my Google Maps, in my YouTube, and my music. And I'm after that, I'm not the kind of cat that needs Alexa. You know what I mean? I'm no simp for Alexa, so I don't fucking need it. See, back in my day, if you want to try to remember something, you would actually have a calendar pinned onto your damn wall. And you just organize it. You just write it down. Like, well, there it is. Wake up in the morning, you get yourself like a glass of juice, or you make a cup of coffee, and then you look at your schedule that's written down for you for a month, and you look at it and like, oh, that's what I gotta do today. Okay, well, okay, so I have this much time to do whatever. And so long as you know to plan out what you absolutely need to do when it comes to like paying bills and stuff like that, you know where your free time is gonna be. You know what I mean? So don't necessarily need an AI to tell me how to schedule my life. I need AI to look up something maybe, but then again, what's stopping my fingers from doing that? So that's the basis of like how much I know about AI. Um, and the argument is that when people who are against AI, they're afraid of their information being shared. Dude, nobody fucking cares. I tell you that much. If you are too afraid to have your information be shared, chances are you're in waters. I'll tell you that right now. Chances are you're in fucking waters. Don't know how deep, don't care how deep, but you're in waters. Like maybe you're just like, oh, jeez, oh no, like what if I use AI? Are they gonna find me? Why? I mean, why would they have to find you? The lamest excuse I've heard was, oh, well, I'm in a little bit of debt. My argument is, yeah, so is our government. You think they're gonna arrest you? No, that's dumb. I know a lot of people who are in heavy ass debt and we're like, they have the nonchalant like, yeah, I'm gonna get to it. I can't do anything about it right now. I'm just working on it. But you know, unless you're like a fucking criminal at heart, you have nothing to worry about AI. That's kind of like being a preteen that's afraid to tell anybody about their fucking porn history. So trust me, nobody fucking cares what you look up. Nobody even wants to know what you look up. I sure as hell fucking don't. Or to be like BDSM or anything under the sun, or people get people get their fancy on fucked up things. Personally, I ain't like that, but is this a cover? Because this take me away, but it's Rev Theory. I know. A Ministry of the Dark. But Take Me Away reminds me of a pop song. So I wonder. Nope. I don't think so. It's on the cover. It's an original. It's called The Calm Within. Take Me Away is the name of the album. Oops. Whoops. Song reminds me of Skillet. Skillet had talent. Facts are facts, brother. I mean, at the very least, the female vocalist sounds so much better in this band. If this is the original, it is this. Yep, this is Iron Maiden. This one's not a cover. I know what Bruce Dickinson sounds like. Watching you probably piss in a jar while I'm taking a shake until you're rocked up. Wow. Yeah. Way to go, Ken. Yeah, asshole. X. X. On X. God damn it. You know, I look at this number too, and I think I started doing this app about like 4 months ago. So I, working and going back to it. So I'd say like I probably earned about $100 a month just from doing this shit. That's my stuff. That's my email. Basic ass email. $365 in about 3 to 4 months. That's not shabby. I mean, it's fucking annoying to do, but skip. Shit. Chili and cheese burritos. So we enjoyed. They're okay. The seasoning that we used for the beef was a little bit much. At least for my taste. I'm pretty sure that Mama Ken did not like that. So, but we agreed on it. And we're like, I said, I was reading the package in the back. I'm like, this is a lot. What happened? Well, the way that the night's going, still young, just listening to music. Shrapnel's Bunker. I actually like that name too. Sounds like a band name. But well, let's song play out. I don't know if I like this song from Ghost. I think this is like one of those like too feely, I guess, because it sounds nice. I mean, I would never hate on anybody who likes this song, but it's one of those songs. It's like if I was actually in my feelings, totally. Right now, I'm just like not. I don't know, not in the mood for it. But it's not a bad song, so I can't really justify skipping it. All right. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna fill this to the tippy top. And then I'm gonna down the whole goddamn thing. Just because. Um I don't recommend it at all. In fact, I think it's a terrible idea. And the reason why I'm doing it is just because. I'm relatively old, man. I may not look like it, but I'm definitely middle aged. Actually, now that I look at it, yeah, I kind of look like it now. Anyway, it's about like right here. Rotation. Oh, you mean from work? Are you doing like swing shifts? Those are a bitch. The trick is to not think about it, but I think about it a lot. Featuring David Draymond. I can. Can't skip that. But anyway, let's talk about that. So the only reason we would have to do that kind of shift is that if you know what being an essential worker is like, and if you have to do that kind of swing shift, you're either A, working at a fucked up place, or B, you're working in the hospitality industry. And I was I was working in a fucked up grocery store. Like, ooh. It fucked with everybody. I did it personally, and my thing, and in my personal opinion, uh, if I'm working in an area that either wants me to do days or nights, keep me on one or the other because swing is just a bullshit way of saying, "Oh well, we don't know what to do with you yet," you know. And it's not because of like how skilled you are as a worker. No, no, it's the management fucking up and panicking. Manufacture the primers and urethanes for installing vehicle windows. See that I don't know much about. I do know that doing swing shift for that is fucking bananas. Um, because if you're working in a factory area, then that's completely different. Because if you go 1 week, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., I would much rather do 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. personally. Uh, but if I had to constantly do 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., and that was like my life for the next like 3 months, then yeah, cool. But if you're doing it every other week, man, rotation is bitch. Is a bitch. No other way to put it. The only advice too I'd have for that because I only did that for like a month and I said fuck off. Yeah, chemical plant. So uh yeah. Oh, well, I don't know much about that either, but I can only imagine if you're sleep deprived, you know, and working around chemicals. That's another thing too. So I don't know what the fuck. Because there's a lot of companies out there who would hire people, no, I'm sorry. There's a lot of people who just want to work nights, who just want to do the graveyard stuff. You know, there's a lot of people like that out there, and so that's why it confuses me when they put some people in swing. Then again, by full like looking at my overall career, I'm a cook, so I don't necessarily have to deal with like the sleep thing. The discipline is definitely there because you have to, in order to make a living as being a cook. And what by that I mean is like you can't just be a line cook and accept, oh, you're gonna make it. If you're just like a simple ass line cook and you tell yourself, I don't want to do this forever, then I would say get out personally. Do something that you actually have more, I don't know, relation to something that you actually want to do than just do that. I had we have certain chemicals that are hyper reactive to H2O water. If you accidentally breathe it, crystallization. Yeah. So I'm curious now, what do you do to what steps do you take to make sure you're well rested? Is my question to you because it sounds like you know what you're doing. If you know how everything acts and reacts, right? then obviously you're not. They're not trying to get rid of you. They're trying to optimize your, intelligence. That's just an outside looking in kind of thing. So, what do you do in that situation to where like what makes you sleep? You know, because that's the most important part. You got to make sure you get rested. And I've worked with a lot of night shift workers who've done it for about 20 to 30 years. I've worked with a couple of people who've done swing, but a lot more people work straight up nights. Swing is just a nightmare. So if the money's there, yeah, it's definitely worth it. Trust me. Um, thing is that like if you're earning a decent amount of money, do what you can to pocket that shit. Um, pocket any of it. Sleep during the day, have a weighted blindfold, and I use the ambient sound videos. Yeah, yeah. That's exactly what I used to do. I didn't use a weighted blindfold, but I did like sleep meditation music. So what I did was um I had a hard time falling asleep during the day, even after like four. I don't know. It took me a very long time to use it because I did it for about a year or so. And all I was really doing was like stocking shelves at the grocery store, which you could fuck up, and they're like, "What are they gonna do? Fire me?" You know. But I was actually really good at my job, so um, what I did was I would have uh, sleep folds on, strapped to the back of the head, and I do that. Not complete blindfolds, but uh, after that, I I put on like sleep meditation music and make sure my room was as dark as it could be. Obviously, because you want to try to trick your brain a little bit to thinking that it's night. Because you know your body's not meant to fucking do that shit. It doesn't matter who you are. You can be in like a certain stage of your life. The maximum amount I would say, the maximum amount of time I would say someone should ever work a night shift is about 6 months. That after that, don't fucking do it anymore because you need your sunlight. Swing shift only has that advantage based upon okay, well there's some weeks, some days out of like the 2 weeks that I could just like go outside and like take a walk. Um, another tip, if you had to sleep during the day, that I've received was I figured out. Well, we'll say within your case, um, 7 a.m. My case was around like 8:30, so relatively the same. Um, go for a walk after work immediately, maybe to get like a little bit of a light workout in. Even though, even despite the fact you're stocking shelves all night, which is again, it's a workout. If you worked where I was, you'd understand. Like it was kind of easy to understand where everything went, but damn, it was tiring. So sound like crickets and tree frogs just Oh, that's cool. So you did something that was like out of your childhood. That's dope. I could respect that too. I personally, me, kind of like that. I like hearing rain, and I like hearing soothing symphonies, like something that's like not too complex, and something that I feel like could kind of like relieve the stress of trying to sleep, and just kind of like do a in and out breathing kind of thing. And So you just relax your body, and then you can catch some Z's. And from my personal experience, I was ecstatic every night or every time I woke up. I woke up around like 10:30 and I started at 12 and got out around like 8:30. Had a half-hour lunch. So I had only did 8 hours. So the 12-hour shit is a different thing. I once did 16 hours and I fucking hated it. But never constantly 12 hours. Sometimes I would do like 10-hour shifts doing that, so far and so forth. But usually it was supposed to be only like 8 hours, and then for me, I would like kick back, get home, you know, and if you're a night shift worker, trust me when I say this, if you want a beer at 9 a.m., you get that beer at 9 a.m. After your shift, fuck everybody else, you know. We live in Michigan and surrounded by the Great Lakes. I found videos that sound like the waves coming in. In other words, good. Yeah, I mean, it's it's relaxing. It takes you back like a little bit like the good old times. You know what I mean? And probably times when you're a kid, maybe sometimes when you have one of the nicer dates in your life, or maybe sometimes when you went out with. I live in California, so it's different in Michigan, but in California, it's like for me when I went out, it was uh it was more like we would always go to like a park in the middle of the night, and no one fucked with us because we weren't doing anything except for having a couple beers at a bench. But we got approached by the cops once, and they were like, "Oh, what are you guys doing? Drinking?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're just having a couple beers at a bench, and we're not doing anything else. Swear, like that's honest to God what we were doing." And the cops would look at us and like, you know what? That's fine. Just finish what you're doing. Don't be out by curfew or past curfew, and then you guys are all right. Because we were respectful. You know, I always respect like the chaotic good out of police because if you're gonna be like totally lawful, it's kind of like oh, well technically you're breaking the law, so therefore you suck, and we're gonna fine you. No, that's stupid. Like, like lawful means like, if this is by the textbook, then it's by the textbook. Like, no, that's not the way to fucking go. You know. Um, but anyways, what reminded me of that is just light wind breezes. Uh, light soothing music. You know, kind of treat me like a little bit of a baby, like trying to rock myself to sleep. But but once it's time to get up, I would wake up at like 10:30. Kind of like stretch myself a little bit, make sure my muscles are good to go, and then 10:45 I'd hit the shower, and then get dressed, be ready to leave the home by 11:30, and then by 12 I finished my quote unquote morning walk, and which my morning walk was just walking from where I was to work, and then I would stock shelves for about 8 to 8.5 hours straight, and it got me to fucking tremendous shape. So I wasn't necessarily too mad about it, but I missed it, and I think it had something to do with that between that and COVID hitting that fucked with me. So uh, that's what I did. I don't know anything about like messing with like materials and stuff like that outside of like cleaning materials uh, and anything of that sort. I'm capable of learning it, but I don't know it. So it's kind of I can only imagine uh bunker that to where that would kind of lead you to. You know what I mean? Because sure as shit, I would have zero to no idea unless if I was trained to do so, which I'm not. Um, Working a 12-hour shift sounds like a bastard of a thing to do. No, not. I want to say that it sounds it's a bitch thing to do, but yeah, it's like a. I don't know. I really don't know how to put it because yeah, fuck all that shit. But again, I imagine if it brought you a decent amount of coin in, then yeah, put some money into your fucking savings account, build that shit up, tough it out, and then if it's still something that you become accustomed to and you really have to be honest with yourself, then yeah, I mean, keep doing it. Nothing I'm ever gonna say is gonna steer you away from what you're doing right now because you're doing a phenomenal job. Just by the fact you have to wake up for swing shifts and put into our shifts. That's my thing. So you do you, man. Personally, that's the way I would go about it. Um, why am I even clicking there? Who the fuck donated to me 80 cents? Who did this? Why? All right. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. 80 cents is cool. That's just a weird number. I'm gonna let it put it out right there. Like, could have been a full dollar, but that sounds a little bit of a dick thing to say. I think you're getting trolled by people who are just like, oh yeah, let's donate to him 50 cents, 80 cents, or whatever. That's cool. Just such a weird number. The premier liquids are interesting to mess with, setting up certain amounts of different raw ingredients just right. So what do you mean? Do you mean like so I'd imagine if you have to um measure raw ingredients, there's obviously got to be some what's it called? Apprenticeship. So yeah, there's got to be some sort of apprenticeship that's going to go on. I have to pee. I'll be right back. 80 cents is a little bit weird. That's cool. Ugh. All right. Had to pee like a racehorse after that. But yeah, I don't mean to. Freaking broad. But who the hell fucking does that? But okay. Because I had a feeling that if I would post it on my in my description, like, hey, so I do Twitch and I don't do Twitch, like I do Twitch every once in a while. But I was like, hey, so I do Twitch and then this is where everyone can throw wherever. Sure. And then they get 80 cents. I'm like, I mean, that's cool. Seems like a weird number. Because like when I think about 80 cents, I think about like if someone's paying in cash, if someone had a tip jar like back in the day and they were like, oh, there's 80 cents left. I don't really care about this. Let's throw that in there. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. So then when I see 80 cents, it's like, you fucking with me? Because I appreciate the joke. So that's cool. I'd be defensive about that because it does sound like I'm like, oh, am I not good enough anymore? Because like that's not the case. You know, I kind of just appreciate the fact that it's actually there. So, in other words, no worries. Let's see here. Yeah, like I said, it's no worries. Back to the music. Back to the beers. Well, I only have like 3 left, if that's anything. That's about 4 or 5 ounces there. And for anyone who wants to buy me another one, if you really want to, you don't have to. I did say, state, and I hate saying this shit because I don't necessarily care. I guess if it comes down to the point where like a post my PayPal account and they're like, hey, we want you to try this beer, and then like throw $5 and tell me something. I'm like, okay. I do beer reviews as well, so anything that comes up as like a tall can, like throw 5 on it. Like, hey, want to have it? Want to try it and tell me what you think? That'd be cool. For example, this is a hurricane. People who live in America know what a hurricane is. I think this beer sucks. It's not fun. I've just gotten kind of used to it, which is terrible. If we do this, no, that is actually at the tip top. Don't think, just do. I just peed, so I know that's kind of weird to mention. A lot of people who are beer drinkers, they know. You know. Thanks, but Ooh. Oh. I think what I'm gonna have to do is like, if anyone wants me to down something that's within like the beer realm or the other realm, like don't have me uh, chug a like a spirit or anything like that. Or I think that's like too rough. But spaghetti meatballs or chicken alfredo. Um, ooh, tough call. I think because I feel like that. Are you talking like? Are you talking like if I were to make it myself, or if you're talking about if I was going to a restaurant? Because that is means completely different things. Remember, I'm 13 years into the restaurant industry, so I can give you both. Well, I can give you one, a fancy restaurant. You would have to go with fuck, like overall. I think overall you would probably have your best bet if it was like a high end restaurant. You have your best bet with chicken alfredo because it's not really that hard to fuck up a marinara sauce, but alfredo sauce is so it's so fragile, and and that's where it comes in because you can cook the chicken for you can cook the chicken for the Alfredo pasta like very well. If the Alfredo sauce sucks, it ruins the chicken. As opposed to you can kind of fuck around a little bit more. You can kind of like freelance the spaghetti and meatballs. And freelance, what I mean is like Italian herb seasoning, or you can pretty much throw whatever on beef. Chicken is a little bit more delicate to me, and what's more delicate is the Alfredo sauce. So if it's gonna be like a fancy restaurant that expect like high quality, you go with chicken Alfredo because it requires more finesse. Um, Not to say that spaghetti and meatballs is a bad plate, but if you're gonna go to say say you're gonna go to a restaurant you don't know about, but you saw reviews about it. If it's rated at least like 4 or 5 stars, just try the chicken Alfredo. Unless you really don't like chicken and Alfredo, if you don't like it, then go spaghetti and meatballs. You're probably gonna be doing all right there too. But in my personal opinion, you would get more out of the chicken Alfredo. See what I'm saying? Because there's not more work to be done to make sure the chicken Alfredo is like on point. Spaghetti and meatballs, you can fuck around and find out. That could also mean that because I live in California, there's a lot of like places who like to do spaghetti and meatballs because I live in California. Like a lot of people like spicy foods because, um, and it's not to touch any political thing, but there are a lot of Mexican Americans here who like spicy foods and who like to deviate from their Mexican foods to something spicy, but also spicy Italian. So, uh, yeah, I mean, like if you're down to fuck around like that, that's cool too with me. You know, I personally, if when I want spaghetti meatballs, I don't want it that spicy at all. But I've seen a lot of Mexican cooks fuck up a spaghetti meatballs and like fucking drench that shit with red pepper flakes. It's like, yeah, this is spicy. I'm just like, dude, chill, dude. You know what I mean? So you also had to understand different spices too. So I mean, but overall, it's chicken Alfredo when it comes to pasta, and you also have to understand the destiny of the pasta that you're going to make. You know, linguine, rigatoni, or wherever we go with that. Wherever we go with that nature. Um, on technical speaking, and I'm going to be completely honest with you, um, at my current career, uh, pasta is a little bit one of my weak points, but I've also noticed that, you know, and I've been working on that because I love pasta. I grew up with spaghetti and meat, and that's been my favorite thing next to lasagna. I love like the sugar and meat uh, mixture. That song sounds a little bit too lame. Oh, it's separate ways. It's a cover of separate ways. So we'll go to that. But my thing is that I grew up with spaghetti and meatballs, and I've had plenty, of variants. Went to plenty of restaurants to the point where I'm not gonna stun about it. My name gets respected because I'm a little bit chaotic, and um, if I don't like what I feel, I don't care what the company says. I'll just say straight up, I think it sucks. You know, don't take it personally, but I think it sucks. And I found like bangers, in my time that, personally, um, I would never go for a chicken alfredo at a fucking Olive Garden because that's dumb. Why would you do that? Because they're lazy and technically Olive Garden bags are pre-cooked. The process pre-cooked and shipped to them. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Um, so and that's facts. I didn't even have to work there, but I heard about it. Olive Garden sucks because their noodles are shipped in pre-cooked and then warmed up in a microwave. Olive Garden is dog shit. Olive Garden is dog shit when it comes to pasta. If you want a really good pasta, you want to go to somebody who knows and it's upkept. I'm not Italian. I'm Irish, right? So I know my thing is like potatoes and stuff like that. I love cooking potatoes. I love cooking like a you know a rest kind of thing, and that's pretty much honestly that's where I'm at. You know, because you're gonna say fancy restaurant, obviously. Um, that depends where you come from. That depends where you're gonna go by. You know, you have to learn the world to understand what a fancy restaurant usually is. But if you're gonna say, you know, uh, you know, spaghetti, meatballs, or chicken alfredo, I would say definitely, yeah, go for the chicken alfredo. But you also have to understand the climate. You have to understand the region. You know, uh, if the chicken in your region has news about it to where it's kind of garbo, don't go for it. You might get a little bit. I don't know. Um, there's so many factors. So, uh, wow, that made me think a lot. So, uh, my thing is this, and I'll go ahead and put my hypotheses about this. Um, I rarely fuck with pasta because I think that um, it's really hard to, and I want within my cooking expertise, and I'm kind of you know girthy, fat, I guess. Uh, my thing would be is go with what your body knows, and maybe your heart and your mind or something like that. I would say you let you what who is deciding the factor. Obviously, if you want to go to a chef, um, I would say do so. Um, but have an open heart about it, because us chefs, we're fickle. Um, it's really hard for us to say because we initially get excited based upon um, doctor notes. Doctor notes is the biggest thing. Like, what are we allergic to? I was thankfully born not allergic to a damn thing, but it's been 13 years of the business. You have to take notes and you have to take schooling into understanding if you're going to cook for people. If they're allergen, especially gluten, you have to take your natural steps. Like, this is your goddamn career, you know? And that's another goddamn person when you're a cook. If you're gonna hurt somebody for trying to be a cook, you're a fucking animal. You know, this is your life. You know what I mean? And I feel as if a lot of people that I've seen come and go after 13 years, I see a lot of them fluctuate. I don't hear about them anymore. Um, they don't go on. They don't do a goddamn thing. Um, I can only count since 2011. I can count three, maybe four people. Out of I don't know how many more that are still alive because they get involved in the drugs. They get involved in the bullshit. It's cool to have a beer after that stressful amount of work, but the thing is that a lot of people who go through that much stress within the kitchen. Bottom line is this: if he stretches you out that much, I would say be honest. I would say picking on other people is probably not the way to go because I've been picked on in the kitchen before, and you have to seek actual therapy because what you're doing is destroying something from the inside out. And I've seen it a lot. If I had to be honest with you guys, you know, I've never been, but I've always been hard headed, and people respected me out of it, and then started listening. And then there was one night when I went back to a restaurant, and I was told, you know what? Ever since you worked here and then you came back, you still have an attitude. You still have an attitude. Was it from a manager? No. It was from an employee that's been there and it just didn't fucking get the plot. And I told her straight up because what happened was she told me about a ticket, and I responded with, "You mean this ticket for this table, right?" She's like, "Yeah." All right. Well, what's wrong with the ticket? She was like, "Oh, we just want to remind you that this thing is, this is on this." I'm like, "But it already says that on the ticket. I already know what to do." You know what I mean? And she stared at me and she's like, "You know what? You have the shittiest attitude." I'm like, "What the fuck did I do? You just assuming I didn't know how to read, you fucking moron." Like, in my mind, that's what it said. And I was like, okay, I'd rather get through the rest of these orders right now and then we could talk about it. She did not talk to me about it afterwards. She talked to me about another problem that was going on in the front of the house because she was the front house manager, and she's like, "Everything's falling apart. Everything's falling apart." Fucking yeah, no shit. Like, maybe it's probably because of you, you idiot. Like I don't get it, man. I understand commercials. I understand getting to know people. I understand all that shit. But when I was working across the parking lot, actually, I was having a lot more of a fun time because it was very well more, you know, manufactured, and everything was just falling apart. with everybody else, and I was like, you know what, this is cool. This is cool. Like I'm having a good time. You know, I of course with my smart ass pointed out flaws, and most of the management, actually, I mean, I'm gonna say most, all the management agreed with me because you want to see people succeed. You really did, and it was at a Red Robin. And the thing that turned me about was I think it was a little bit too soft at that time because I was trying to figure myself out. And prior to that, I was like gung ho. I don't give a fuck. You figure this out. You figure this out now. You know, or I'll figure it out for you and tell you how stupid you are. And I did that. Um, as a career between 2014 and 2019, I did it for half a decade, and you know, I did it for a living. And I remember this kind of like ties down a little bit when I did it between 2014 and 2019. This kind of ties around towards me transitioning from the cooking experience to trying to get into grocery because I knew about uh, keeping food intact and stuff like that. I already knew about all that stuff. I was already educated, and then I did that, and then I remember my first night. I went into doing a graveyard shift for a grocery store, and for some reason, because the girl I was dating was working at a grocery store, for some fucking reason, they thought I knew the inside out of a fucking grocery store on my first night. I'm like, no, I've been cooking for 8 years. Why the fuck would I know that? You know what I mean? Like, you kidding me? You know, but it's strange. My life's been very strange because I hear a lot of things that are fucking dumb. You know what I mean? And I don't like to use the word dumb, but some motherfuckers are dumb. And when I say dumb, I mean don't go out and bullshit anybody else. Don't tell them they're fucking stupid. Don't even fucking try to be a bully. I've been bullied fucking since my fucking high school year. Take a look at me now, man. Like fucking, I have a career. I have everything going for me. Who fucking cares? Bullies are fucking stupid. They're borderline stupid. You watch The Simpsons? Bullies are fucking stupid. They know they're fucking stupid. I need attention. Wah, wah, wah. Fucking, who cares? You know what I mean? It's just it. I mean, you know what? What I'm gonna do is take another piss, take another loo. But like, who fucking cares? Bullies are dumb. You find out about them, they're like, oh well, well, this happened, this happened. Fuck off. Honest to God, fuck off. Like, I became a wrestler in high school. You know, I wasn't the toughest, but I showed up. People respected me. when I went to from wrestling to poetry school because I was huge at music and literature. It's a little bit different. Well, what's going to happen? What's going to happen with them? I said I just took another route. You know, wrestled and practice within your amateur wrestling gymnasium. Gymnasium for 3 years. Thought it was cool. Got my workout in. I just want to go into this route of life. And they were like, you know what? You're cool. Yeah, fucking, that's cool with me. Now you got these fucking nerd ass fucking League of Legends players. What's going on here? I don't know. Maybe your mother failed you. I don't fucking care. Like, like today I won 5 games, which took me about like 3.5 hours and lost one. And I had some one person like, oh, this jungle is doing. Oh, well, check my fucking win history. You fucking dumbass. Like, of course I know what I'm doing. I'm the one who got you fed, you idiot. You stupid.